are back with another episode of the Lounge Season 2 by the Rotaract Club of Achievers Lanka Business School. So today we have our executive committee for the years 2020-2021. So let's all welcome our Vice Presidents, Rotaractor Asil Gunaratne, Rotaractor Bipash Suryage, Rotaractor Hasita Jayasurya, our Treasurer, Rotaractor Rishad Mohiyade, and our Sergeant at Arms, Rotaractor Niflas Numan. Hi guys.
Hi, Vinuri.
Hi, Vinuri. Hi.
Hi. So these are members of the club who has expertise in almost all the avenues. I should say we have past community service directors, we have past professional development directors, we have past finance directors, and also we have past club service directors. And not just that, we have past Conquer Colombo chairs and past Jumpstart chairs as well. So it's correct if I say that these people are the most experienced members right now in the club. So I'm very excited to get to know their journey of Rotaract, and I'm really excited to hear about their experiences. So let's start right away, guys. First, I would like to ask two questions from each of you. We'll start. Let's go in the alphabetical order. So Rotaractor Asil, we are going to start with you. First of all, give us a brief introduction about yourself.
All right. So I'm Asil Gunaratne. I am 23 years old. So I joined this Rotaract spectrum back in the latter end of 2019 in President Hamdan Suleiman, the latter end of Hamdan Suleiman's presidency. So what I am currently a third year undergraduate at University of Morocco, and currently vice president of this club also. So that's a very brief background of who I am.
All right, Asil. Okay. Could you tell us one of your strongest beliefs in life?
So when it comes to my beliefs, I'm a strong libertarian, which means that I believe strongly in individual rights, and I also believe in that individual responsibility. I believe that anyone can achieve anything that they want in life, regardless of any barriers or whatever, as long as they put in that hard work and put in that perseverance in order to achieve that certain goal. So that's essentially my strongest belief.
All right. Thank you, Asil, for that. Let's move on to Rotaractor Bipash now. Hi, Bipash.
Hi.
So let's start off with a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Bipash. I'm also one of the VPs of the club, and I've been in Rotaract for 4 years. To be honest, I joined during Manishaki's year, but during that year, I wasn't active for certain reasons. And afterwards, I became active, and that is how I got here. The reason that I joined Rotaract personally was because I was in Interact and I saw what the Rotary movement was. So that was one of the motivation factors of mine to join Rotaract as well.
All right. Let me ask you a question like this. I think this will be like something very interesting that we'd like to know about you. Is there anything unbelievable that you have done? Something that you have done, but no one would believe that you would have pulled it off?
Maybe, okay, right now I can't think of something that I would have, unbelievable thing I would have done, or I can say something that no one would believe, something that has happened that no one would believe in.
Okay.
So that's also all right, yes?
Yeah.
So this is actually it's not like a happy story. This is someone might know, but this is like a pretty dangerous, pretty scary story. So actually this was,
okay.
I think someone would have heard, but this was back in school. So one of my friends, he's one of my close friends, and the reason that I joined Rotaract was also, first reason was because of him, but then he left. And this guy, during the school days, he did the same thing to me. He told me to come for drama. I'm like, why drama? I suck at drama. But then this day, he told me to come. I went for drama. Practice was okay. And after that, only the scary thing happened. While going home in a tuk, So this was right in front of the Rajagiri police station, Palikana. So while we were going, we were like going in the middle of the road, and so a drunk jeep guy. So we were going at maybe around 50 kilometers per hour, slow, normal speed. High speeding guy came and knocked us from the back, and I can't remember what happened. I remember us just going, and at a moment we were slowly toppling towards the side, and then what happened was the two guy fell outside. His face was on the floor, dragging on the road, and I don't know how myself and my friend, there was a friend of mine, so I don't know how we didn't fall, but that guy fell down into the road, and the tuk went around maybe 50 to 100 meters sliding on the road. And then what happened was, I don't know, maybe because I had my bag, I didn't fall down. But then after tuk was there, we tried to get out. So my friend got out first, and I got out last. So as in there were a few scratches and on the stuff on my body and all. But then other than that, there was nothing much. So yeah, and then we looked at the tuk driver. So he was on the floor. His face was full of blood and blood all over. We didn't know what to do. So a few people stopped and, helped him out and, came to a hospital, I guess. So yeah, I guess that's one of the, scariest things and unbelievable things that happened to me, which I'm thankful that I got through. So yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, the reason why we ask this question is because Vipash is such a reserved person. You can't get anything out of his life unless it's a moment like this. So thank you for sharing that story with us, Vipash. Let's move on to Rotaract Hasita. So let's start off with a brief introduction about you.
Right. So hi, my name is Hasil Jayasurya. I'm 27 years old and currently working at a company called Fortitude as a consultant. I think the four of us all joined in Hamdansia 3 years ago. I think same batch. Yeah, the reason I joined Rotaract was when I was 3 years ago, the only thing I was doing was just a job. So I wanted a distraction, and that's how I came across Achievers, Rotaract Achievers, and that's how I joined. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you something like this: who is your role model in life, and why would you look up to him?
Right. So I think for the past year, my role model has been this person named Hassan Esufale. I think you all might know. I follow him because I think he has a perfect balance of work-life balance. So he's very committed to his work, but also spends time with his family and goes on trips. And it's a sort of lifestyle that I want to have. So he's been my role model for the past year.
All right, nice. Now let's move on to our treasurer, Protractor Rishad. Let's start off with a brief introduction about you.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Rishad. I joined Rotaract in Hamdansi in 2018, and it was almost 2.5 to 3 years I'm being in the club. And right now I'm serving as the treasurer for the Rotaract Club of Achievers and working as a process associate at Intermate Private Limited.
All right, Rishad. What would you consider as the greatest achievement of your life?
Greatest achievement in my life, I would say that once I got awarded as the All Island winner in public speaking competition from British Lanka in 2018. So yeah, it's one of the greatest achievements in my point of view in my life.
All right, that's amazing, Rishad. Now, last but not the least, Sergeant at Arms. Hi, Niflas.
Hi, Vinuri.
Let's start off with a brief introduction about you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Rishad Mohiyade. So I joined Rotaract in Hamdan here, as everyone knows. We all joined together. So we joined because of Kankasalambo, the project. That, to be honest, that's the reason I joined Rotaract. That's the reason we joined the project, and I think I can't reveal another club's name. Another club wanted me and Rishad to join to their club since we are ACCA students, but neglecting their request, we joined Rotaract Achievers because of Colombo. So I am now working as a process associate at Informate Private Limited, that is on the company. That's about me.
And I'm sure that you
Nifla,
don't regret.
Niflas, does the other club name rhyme with Flexcellence?
Yeah.
Don't say it openly,
But
mother.
I'm sure, but I'm sure that Niflas doesn't regret the decision that he's
I never
decided
regretted
to.
it. I'm very happy with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, all right, all right. Okay, let me ask you a question like this, Niflas. What is the most important quality that you would seek in a true friend?
Loyalty and helpfulness, right? It's like this. A good friend has always your back. Not a thing, it's always. So I think you might be tired, they will take your load. If you need help figuring something in education or working on something, they become the same figurative research partners or something. They always be there, whatever happens to you. Whatever happens. It's a bonding more than family. It's like family. So that's what I expect. That's what I look into in friends, like loyalty and the value.
Yeah, I think we all can agree with that. Um, so let's move on to more towards the Rotaract side. So let me ask you like this: as members who've been in the movement for at least 2 years, I think when it comes to y'all, it's more than 2 years. As being members of this club, what is your most satisfying Rotaract moment that y'all have had? So let's start with Asif.
For me, it was, I think it's obviously definitely going to be involved with the Colombo, given that it was like my dream for literature. So the most satisfying moment was would be like the moment I remember when Concolum just finished. Actually, it's two moments. Actually, the moment where like it just finished and like all of us were like cleaning up and just there, like when as a chair you just see like all your work, like all your efforts and everything for the last 6 months, just like all done, completed, successful, and you're like so tired, you're just few seconds away from just like painting on the ground. So I mean that's the feeling of the satisfaction. And also on the same day, like when I remember like when I had to like go and announce the rules and whatnot, so I was holding the mic and I was looking around with all the like participants, and I like can see around like all our like stalls and like how massive our event looks, and like to think all of it was done like just in like on a rooftop at like a house in Arambita seems like too surreal. So like yeah, say those two moments for me.
Priceless moments, Andu.
Yeah, exactly.
So how about Dipash?
So to be honest, Asel sold my idea, as in Asel sold my opinion as well. So, but then yeah, so I'll to be honest, that was basically one of the most memorable moments of my Rotaract career as well. To get to chair one of the best projects in the Rotaract movement, Colombo, and to see how it went through. But since Asel got to that part, another one important thing that I would want to say is, as in another memorable moment was after finishing off Colombo, you realize that funds to Project Live, even though I couldn't be involved as much due to certain reasons, my co-chair here, Hasita, finished it off really well. So, but then I knew that I was also involved in certain ways. So I was happy to see how I was able to get that done, and how the impact that we made through Project Live, because there was we contributed to around 20 odd families or more in 2 areas in Rotaract. So that was also one of my memorable moments in Rotaract.
Amazing, amazing. Now, how about Hasita? What is your most satisfying moment in Rotaract?
Right. So my most satisfying project would be the cluster project I did when I was a member. So how it happened was, it was my second meeting and first time meeting Hamdan, and Hamdan just told me that you're gonna do the cluster project. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know about all the avenues even. I was just like, I was enthusiastic about it, but I actually didn't know what was going to happen, what we are going to do, anything. And so and then I joined the project, and I had to do it with 7 other people. The six other people, basically 7 with me. All 6 were from different clubs, just members and people. And so we came together, we bonded, we had disagreements, arguments, and friendships, all that. And finally, we were able to complete the project by painting a school, donating books for a library, and also donating computers. So that whole thing where we came close, became friends, and all that, had the whole friendship cycle. That was the most memorable experience in my Rotaract life.
I think since you mentioned that you were just a member, I think that was the moment when
Yeah.
you discovered your true potential, wasn't it?
Yeah, I discovered that my true enthusiasm, I think, but that I wanted to do serve the community. That's when I discovered that deep down I have a need for that.
Yeah, wonderful. So, how about Rishad? What is your most
Yeah.
satisfying moment of road trip?
Yeah, so as Assail and Vipash said, sharing Conquer Colombo along with them is one of the greatest opportunity I got to serve in the club. And once we are like on that day at race course, we have completed the project successfully. That feeling we got is something like uncomparable. And along with that, I personally love this project, ComServe project called Cut the Green, Not the Green, where we planted like 1,200 saplings in Matale.
Yeah.
That was the most like satisfying Rotaract moments I ever had.
All
Thanks,
right,
Rishad.
amazing. Yeah. So let's move on to Niflas. What is your most satisfying moment of road
So
trip?
I have two things. One is that we cut the green, not the green. Sorry, cut the green, not the green. This thing. So like we also planted 1,200 saplings. It was a great great memory. So like we planted from our hands. Like it was dead. So like it's very hard to we did that. And the other thing is like when I was in Patmas here when I inducted newbies, so I taught people how avenues work, what avenues do and everything. And there were like more number of newbies who were inducted. And then most of the number of people left the club in the sense they were not active. Like they were active for some kind of period. But there are some people who took the complete responsibility for applying for Cicero board, and they took the great responsibilities, and they didn't let Cicero down. So I am proud, and one of the example will be Anditi. She will be also an example. Like I taught her what are the avenues and how avenues works and all. So like I am bit proud. Like I have done my avenue work properly when I was a club service director in Patmas here. So I am proud about that, and I have achieved that. So I have done my duty. That's the satisfying moment for me.
Yeah, the fact that you actually made an impact in their life that made them stay in the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I would like to move on to the topic of the pandemic. So since people now you all heard how experienced they are in the movement, like sharing big projects like Conquer Colombo. So sharing huge projects of physical aspect. So you all have a lot of experience in that. So when the pandemic occurred, it was I believe that it was a whole new experience for you guys as well. So when it comes to the administration side, as a vice president point of view, as a treasurer point of view, basically as a member of the executive committee, how did you all tackle that situation when it comes to let's start off with the vice presidents. When it comes to avenue wise, how did you all manage everything? How did you all embrace this change?
So in terms of definitely like I think the strength of the club lies in like not in how many members it has, nor how many how much like how qualified or how old these experienced members are. I think it's the ability to like adapt to change. right? And like their perseverance, where like they won't give up no matter like what, they'll try to find like when a problem comes, it's not like how, it's not going to be how, they won't ask questions about why, they won't say why it can't be done, rather questioning how can it be done. So especially like, so if I was to go into like one specific avenue like PD, in my perspective, I feel like it was done pretty well this year, and even with the pandemic, like I think still like it didn't have to adapt too hard either, given that like many of its aspects can be converted to a virtual platform. So because of that, it wasn't as affected as much as we were worried about. But nevertheless, given this point, like we use it for like it's using even a bad situation for your advantage. So this pandemic allowed for like even further more participants to take part in these different workshops and whatnot. And yeah, and like even like events such as Jumpstart, they were done even much better than before also. So despite like the pandemic or whatever, so we didn't take excuses. We either saw like how are we going to adapt, or we saw how this situation we are going to make it into an advantage actually, rather than something to like fight against. So
Bipash, is there something you would like to add to that?
Yeah, I'd like to speak about the IES aspect of how this year we went through. So to be honest, during last year, during Satma this year, also since I was in the board of directors, I saw how the IES Avenue was handled and how it was done. So when compared to that year, when we compare it to this year also, there has been an improvement, because whatever that we did during Satma's year, we were able to complete this year as well. There were certain aspects that we couldn't do, like for example, that when foreign clubs, or members of clubs come down here, we host them. This year we couldn't do that. But the online, so since like Asal said, there are certain aspects of IES which could be done online. So there wasn't much of an adaptation to do, but there were certain aspects that we should have done and we did. So we took advantage of the online aspect and had meetings with other clubs through online means and got to know them. So I feel like the IS Avenue also, with regards to this whole pandemic situation, we handled it really well.
All right. How about Hasika? What can you add to this?
Yeah. So in terms in terms of program service, we had to basically change the initial year plan, which we had the projects plan because of the situation. We had to come up, maybe drop some projects we had planned, come up with new projects. And let's say in terms of Sneha, one of the signature projects of the club, where we did classes physically for the kids at Pumbikale, Killapana. We had to do classes virtually through Zoom for them, so that we don't stop their education, and we let them find continue their education with us. That was for Sneha. And then we did some since we couldn't do some physical projects, we partnered up with some organizations for some donation drives, where we were able to collect funds and donate it for a cause. So that's how we sort of adapted for the situation.
All right. Thanks, Hasika. I think when it comes to the financial aspect, I think Rishad can update us on how it was handled during the pandemic.
Yeah, so there were like so many challenges from finance perspective we faced due to COVID, since the majority companies like whom we approached for the monetary sponsors ended up unsuccessful. So what we did was like we managed to get few sponsors by incorporating them. We're saying like we are doing a virtual project, we can display your product logo, we can display your videos in between the virtual project, and that's how we overcome the difficulties of getting sponsors in the pandemic. And as a club, we overcome by reducing the expenses of the project by doing it virtually, and it concluded the project more successfully with a greater profit margins, comparing to previous years. So that's how we overcome the sponsors and the expenses related during this pandemic. And on the other hand, due to COVID, we had difficulties in collecting the bills related to project expenses. So as a club, what we did was we got the pictures of the bills from the respective directors for the expenses they have incurred for the project, and I've been maintaining a separate folder in the drive where I saved all those pictures of the bills, like in avenue wise. So that would be really easy to do the audit for the year end. So that's how we overcome the difficulties of collecting the bill this year. So yes.
I think that is a good practice that even others, even the future treasurers and future
Yeah.
finance directors also can
Yeah.
adhere to.
Actually.
Uh,
Yeah.
so uh, so Niflas, when it comes to daily activities of the club, those were also had to like change completely. So when it comes to that, how did you manage to like get people together uh, for meetings and all of that? How did you tackle that problem?
So to be honest, like I'm not a big fan of virtual stuff. Things like I'm more used to the physical stuff. So like it's like it's very hard. So like people when you just have a prepare a meeting schedule, organize a meeting schedule the meeting on time. So like basically when it's in the physical stuff, it's always on a predicted day. The days might change according to some other joint meetings and stuff or any other special occasion. Or if there's any other special occasions, the dates and everything will be changed. So when we have a parallel day which is confirmed by the club, this day we are going to have a meeting, this day we have these other stuff. The basic rules and steps and the stuff we follow is broken. So all the people according to everyone schedule themselves. For example, what we say like when do we have our general meeting? It's on Thursday. So it's always at Achievers. We have a time, basic time. So what people do is like we confirmly say all the newbies and people who newly attend the meeting, everyone. So this is the day, this is the time. It won't go more than 8 or 9. So everything is like fixed stuff. So they allocate their timetable or allocate their time, and they have the separate system for the club. So they can have a more they can participate in each and every meeting. They can attend every meeting and get to know about people. They can get to know about the expo, the booth, how does the work meeting like one by one. They can get to know. But in the physical, when it comes to virtual stuff, it's something different. We still stick to the same day, but it depends on its changes. Like we kept like two general meeting once in month, it changed. And there won't be any, there only will be updates from the avenue board director from their end to secretary and the president. There only will be conversation within the board and the expo. There won't be any conversation with the newbies and the people who come and join newbies. And for example, when we have the meeting physically, if there are any new incomes or new students who are down in achievers, they can ask what's this. So what is this? What's happening? So we can let them know, oh, okay, this is what tracks achievers, this is what we do. If you want to join, come say some, look, come have a sit in the meeting, just attend the meeting. So you'll have a basic idea, explain this, and we take them into the club. So that's how we do. And also after every meeting, we have physical fun activity, which we use to break the ice between the members and the directors. Now, I didn't say that we do not do such activities in virtual stuff, but we do. But whereas people such as newbies hesitate to be open and talk themselves, they hesitate to talk to people. Like for example, if the avenue director have introduced them to the club, they only talk with the avenue director, not with the president, not with the other exco members. They only have the chat with the avenue member who took them to their club. So it shouldn't be that way. So club benefits, everyone should be equal. So everyone like should get to know each other and socialize themselves. And also the main part is inducting people. I did not think that this time most of the newbies will be inducted. Things like when we have it in the physical stuff, we got but I do as a avenue director in customers here. I used to get achievers and just have my allocated stuff as like how many intakes per year, how many students have been doing, what are the class times, how can we get them to the club, how can we show, like for example, basically a meeting goes around 1 to 1.5 an hour. So we can create a video how our club, what we do and everything, and show them physically, and ask the president or a serious someone who has come and introduce the club and give them the potential what a club do exactly. So in the virtual meeting we miss everything. So we can't like it will be like, to be honest, it will be like dull and up and stuff and all. It won't be boring for the people who we know each other, but for the new people it might be boring. For example, like during the pandemic they will be studying, they are always, most of them will be students, they will be having lectures in the morning and the evening as well. So when we have the meeting in the evening, they will also have to join for the meeting, it's also in the group. So like they will be frustrated. So that's the part where it changed everything. But kudos to the avenue director, they they proved that it might be wrong, and they proved themselves this year. They have inducted newbies. I hope they might work for the future years also. So from my end, that's the difficulty I face. From here, there will be great difficulties in doing this stuff. There won't be like maximum co-person. Like still we don't know how many members have been inducted. How many are there? Like some might come for some meeting, some might not join the other meeting. So there are so many stuff when we incur with that. So those are the stuff faced by this avenue. So like it's basically more about fun and engaging everything. So it should be more over physical. So this time it's virtual. I hope it might like change in near future.
All right, let me ask a question like this. We all we covered avenues, finance, about changes and improvements. Like as a summary, overall, what kind of improvement has Rotaract Achievers has seen despite the pandemic as a club? Rotaract Asif?
Yeah, actually, let me take this from the Rotaract side stop. With regards to this concept of like newbie engagement, newbie retention, and whatnot. So what I did, like, so this even last year, what we did have was we had a strong program when it came to like recruit newbies into the club. We and like we saw that because initial, I remember like those initial meetings used to have like full like classes which were like completely full of like newbies. But at the end of the day, like a few weeks later on, what we see is like not all of them retain back, right? Slowly by slowly, like people start to drop out. So we saw that like, and that wasn't so at least at least one thing that we noticed last year was at least to begin with we had like a lot of people, but the year before like we didn't have a lot of people to begin with. So but what we saw is that what we could improve is that concept of like newbie retention. Like, how do we make them stay, like how do we like inspire them to keep staying with the movement, and how do we inspire them to like actually improve the movement overall? So what we realize is that we need to give them like large opportunity to like get engaged with the movement even before getting inducted within the movement. And what we saw is that like we need that we need to like give them the sort of we need to like trust, and like we need to not under realize or like under expect with regards to their passion and with regards to like their commitment in order to do these meetings. So because of this year what we did was we had like we exposed them to all the different avenues, and we allowed them to like actually like do these different projects in each of these avenues. So they got a good idea of what these avenues are, and and as part like even before they became a member, they had like they felt like they were part of the family, and like that happened like despite like the obviously the pandemic and this online concept was actually a hindrance to this, but like it was like it was upward battle, but like despite all that we still like retain this much, and we have like right now we have a bunch of very passionate and very creative bunch of like newbies who are definitely going to change this club, and hopefully will change the movement also. So I think that's one like if I could say it's one of the major things we changed, like this entire concept of like making our club a lot more and more newbie centric, and like more newbie focused by increasing our priority on them. That I assume is our biggest improvements.
All right. Actually, a lot of pointers to take from what you all have experienced in in the previous years, in the past years. So I think what you all have said so far will be like great help to others as well, fellow road tractors, even for non-road tractors. When when it comes to organizing events and all of that. I think what you all have said will be like will be great pointers for them in the future as well. All right, guys. Now I have something fun planned for you. So it's a small game. Okay, you all have to let me share my screen, and in my shared screen you can see a set of pictures. Actually, first you're gonna see is a cropped version of the picture, and you all have to guess who it is. Good.
Okay.
Then I will share the full image, and the owner of the person who's in the image, shares a bit about that image. Okay, let's start. Okay. Now see this?
This is Hasita. This is Hasita was yours.
No, it's
Rishad.
It's Vipash.
Okay, it's enlarged. Now can you say?
It's Asel.
Vipash.
It's Asel. Asel, say Asel again.
I am right now. That's fine. Vipash.
Alright, people say it's Asil, Vipash. Let's see who it is. Let me. It's Asil.
Asel podi kaale.
Do I get anything?
Actually, yeah, this is actually in my garden. This is
old
out
were
of
you?
I was.
Why do you have an oval head? Why?
I honestly
What
what I'm talking about. This is, I think, grade 6 or 7, I think. Yeah. This suits my old glasses. Wait, no, I had glasses back then, so it has to be O levels or grade 8.
He still got the same smile, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, let's move to the next picture. Can you
But
guess
this has to be
who it is?
Niflas.
It's Niflas.
This has to be Niflas.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's saying it's Niflas. Let's see if it's. And it's Niflas.
Ah.
What's the
Niflas,
occasion,
very good.
Niflas? Dressed all fancy.
No, yeah, it's been a minute. So
Think it's in
like,
UK?
Oh.
So,
Oh.
16, I think. I think I'm
Aye.
16. And I think the photo is taken by Rishad, I guess.
Who else will it be? Who else
I
will it
wanted to apply for something like, but I don't know why they do. It's because of a passport picture. So there was a bunch of friends. So what these guys did was they were holding a curtain behind me. And for the Friday studios and everything was closed. I was wearing a coat at home. I was wearing a short also. I just washed my face. I didn't wipe my face properly also.
We can take that. Alright, let's move on to the next picture.
yeah, that's Vipash.
So that's
What the
Rishad.
hell?
That's Rishad.
That's Rishad.
That's obvious. Pain it to gala.
Yeah, but that means
Okay,
It's
people
Rishad.
say it's Rishad. Is it
Rishad.
Rishad?
yeah, it should be Rishad.
Okay, let's see who it is. Yes, it's Rishad.
Hey, kind of Sudhu in
Hi.
So,
Yeah, it's not
I took
that
this
long
pic-
ago, right?
No, it's in 2016 December when I was in
Oh,
Interact.
Right.
So when I was in Interact, this is the project I think Hattrick. So I was in organizing committee. So
Alright.
on that day, I took this picture actually in 2016 December 18, I guess. And I grown a lot of hair, despite
we can see.
Yeah.
It's not bad, actually. Not bad.
Rishad
Maybe
always
you
has a nice haircut. I know.
Yeah.
True. Yes, I agree.
He puts a lot of hair product.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see the next picture.
Kawuda me?
Okay.
Kawuda
So,
me?
who is this?
Ayyo.
Kawuda? Chinese.
මේක නම් හසිත දන්නේ නැති.
What are your guesses?
I think it's Vipash.
I think it's Vipash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vipash?
Yeah.
Vipash, who do you think it is?
Should be me.
Alright, let's see.
It's not
if
you.
It's
It's not you.
I think you knew it, not? Let's see.
Oh shit.
Kawuda mo?
Wait, I still don't know.
හසිත.
That's Vinuri. That's Vinuri.
How old is this picture? That's not me, man. How old are you?
I think very small. I don't even remember taking the photo. So I think 5 years
I
old.
thought
I
it was a
don't know.
Yeah,
bee.
this is disturbed issue. I can't imagine young Hasita.
Actually.
Yeah.
Too innocent. Too innocent.
There was a
Yes,
time when I was
too
young.
innocent.
Not that he knew that he would have a girlfriend by now.
Alright, let's go to the next picture.
Vipash.
No,
Hey,
Hasita
that
was
should be
Jagaran,
fun.
right? Hasita was Jagaran.
What are your guesses?
Vipash.
Yeah,
Vipash.
Vipash.
Alright, let's see if it's Vipash.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
It's still not recognizable to me.
Right after Vipash.
That is Vipash.
I know, right? Yeah, that's me. I actually can't
No,
remember. I think.
The facial expression can be like Vipash.
See it now, yeah.
This
How
was,
old
I
were
think,
you,
at one of. I don't know. Maybe grade 6 or 7.
I see. Alright, that's it, guys. You guys guessed well. So that was fun. That was really fun, guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. You need to see some
Alright.
pictures.
We are actually coming to the end of our little chat. Not so little, but we are coming to the end of it. So, as we are coming to the end, okay, the fun's not over yet. I want to know something. I want each of you to tell something that no one else knows about someone else in this call. So, I'll start. Hasita, is there anything that you know about Asil that nobody knows?
Like a secret.
Or anybody else? For example, I see.
Okay. I'll do myself.
Okay.
So one. So this was. I think Asel told me this. When we went to Che Adventure Park. Asel, so out of the blue.
What happened, Asil?
It's nothing bad. The way you're saying it sounds
making people curious. So at the night, he just called. He called me to the corner.
That did happen. He started talking to me.
and then we got on to some philosophical life talks, and Asel just told that Asel asked me what I wanted to be, and then Asel told that he wanted to be president of Sri Lanka. He was actually serious about it.
Really?
Very
Wow.
serious. I didn't believe it. I asked him a couple of times. Anyway, he wants to be or wanted. That's it. Also wanted
Political party you prefer, Asil?
his own.
I don't. Actually, don't
his
have
own.
thing right now.
He was very serious about it. He was telling all his plans and how he's going to come in. He's going to change his strategies, all that. Compared himself to other presidents. That's something
We
he told me.
seriously discuss this.
Maybe one day we shall vote for Asel.
No, so what I told him is that
Now Asil thinking to himself, I'm not telling Hasita anything hereafter. That's it. All right. Okay, now let's turn to Asil. Is there anything you know about maybe Vipash that no one else knows about?
Oh yeah. Just so everyone who's watching this video knows, like you might think like like if you just normally meet Vipash, and if you don't know Vipash really well, you would assume that he's a very nice, silent, rigid, like formal guy who talks to you in a very formal way, and like a guy with like no chill whatsoever. But yeah, if you know him, like he's an amazing dancer. Like he can dance very well. Like in certain situations, which I'm not going to define here. Like he like
I think this
probably
is
gets
one of those.
he like properly gets
I
into
think
it
this is
and
one
like
of those moments. Yeah, I think this is one of those moments that like something people would never believe that Vipasha can actually do.
yeah, because even when I got to know it, I couldn't believe it because like when I initially saw Bikash, it was in like the first time I've taken part in like CCN or like organizing CC. Like say everyone's first day I saw Bikash, it was sitting and like they like writing things down, they rigidly and like just like it's even like everyone's like even making jokes at you, but he's not even responding to it. It's just like okay, yeah, like writing stuff. Then I was like, okay, this dude's like some sort of like super nerd, like some serious guy. Yeah, I'm not even gonna mess with him. And yeah, and then when I saw that, like it just changed like my entire perspective of it.
Right. Okay. Now let's move on to Bipash. Let me see. Is there anything that you know about Niflas? That one.
Yes, yes. I got to know this from one of his friends. He's also in the call. So basically, so Niklas is studying ACCA at Achievers, but the thing is, he has been having feelings for someone who's doing Sigma at Achievers for 4 years now. Still a crush.
That's a long time.
Niklas, why haven't you approached that person?
That is
Can
a
you
long
let us
time.
know?
No,
So
just
I
so
think
he-
Niflas,
secret.
this call is actually a time for you to express your feelings.
She might see this video.
Yeah,
She might see this.
yeah, she might see this. So this is the way to express it.
Okay. Now Niflas is like visibly terrified.
Niklas, don't blush, Niklas. Don't blush.
I think the past now, Hamda no and Vikash no.
Now it's everyone going to know.
Yeah. Now the whole movement knows. Now people are gonna look for her now.
Chima says Siva class records ke check it.
All
That should
right,
be good.
Niflas. Now, Niflas, it's your time to get back at the friend who gave you away. What do you know about Rishad? I know there should be plenty of things that you know about Niflas that no one knows.
There
Can
should
share
be nothing that I don't know about this app. You all can ask whatever you want, I guess. Put the question.
Is there anything that no one else knows like about Rishad?
Yeah. So everyone thinks Rishad is a very organized person. He does everything very planning, but he's the most unorganized person. I sleep till 2 o'clock in the daytime. He sleeps like nothing. Like for the last week he didn't slightly even he did not sleep because if he sleeps he won't be able to wake up. So you all won't stop. Guys, you all won't stop. We had an interview in another place like years back. So when we attend that interview, we was already selected for another company. So the John Kid, we was already selected. So just me and him are going to face the interview. So like the interview is at 2:30. So like I said him the previous night, like this one we had the interview scheduled at 2:30. Like we should go together. There are this stuff and all. I told everything. So before 2:30, I have another interview. That's only for me. I went to that and I am coming from that area. So he should come directly from home. So I went there. I attended the interview. Finished that interview. I attended the second interview also. So I'm waiting. Keep on calling him. So what happened? Answer. He answered the call at 3. Yeah, selected no much on the other interview. I think it's not better to attend another interview. You can face no much like. We can see which will be working out here. So I came to his home and he's coming with the car. So he has slept till 2:30. Like his enemy is sleep. He sleeps like nothing. When you go sleep, whatever you do, he sleeps. He's a very sleepy person. You don't know everything. Like even in
Is
teaching
this
meetings,
true, Rishad?
Yeah, actually, if it's sleep means no one can wake me.
like, actually this time is also his sleeping time. He hardly he did not sleep.
Yeah, that's why I said, Ruin, let's have a 3 months here.
That's the reason. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
Rishad.
That's all 1 hour away from me.
Like if it expects before 3 or after 3, he will sleep. So after that, you should keep on ringing. Even every for daily to go to the office, I should call him. I am the alarm for him. I should have a 6 to 7 calls. Okay. Feel like and so that's what you do. Like he's very person into sleep.
All right, now I'm gonna turn to the sleepyhead, Rishad.
Okay.
Anything you know about Hasita that nobody else knows?
Don't
Actually, everyone in this school knows about Hasita really well. I think that one thing about Hasita we don't know is once he said that he's blind in his left eye.
What?
What?
Yeah, once he said actually, he said he's blind in his left eye. Actually,
Are you?
Yeah. No, that was you.
Hasita wakes up.
No. Okay. That's actually true. Yeah, I'm blind in my left eye. Yeah.
So you can see like half the view or something.
Anyway, joke and about it. Wow. This is why I didn't tell anyone. I knew people would take me as a joke.
Yeah, that's why we take it.
All
You're
right.
always a joke.
Oh,
Riyadh.
you just had to. All right, guys. Last but not least, let me ask you something like this. Do you think Rotaract has improved you as a person? And what kind of things that you got to your life from Rotaract? Let's start with, again, let's go with the alphabetical order. Asil?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I can't think of anyone who would say that Rotaract hasn't like affected them in some way or the other. For me, I think it's definitely even in terms of like the other people we meet, we get so much inspiration from them, right? Like, I mean, yeah, even like when I first, even in from when I was in the board also, I still remember like especially people like Rishad and Nicholas, like these guys who knew, but like how fast they bonded with us and how efficient they were. Like even though I didn't know them for a long time, I felt like even during CC I could like trust them with anything because they're very efficient and they'll always, if you give them a job, they'll get the job done. And like it's like it inspires me to like also like be as efficient and like be like that. And yeah, and like all these people like who like are in the movement are very smart and like very opinionated and like very different, like very diverse bunch of people. So I mean, you can like so much to learn from like all these people and all these experiences. And I think especially for me, my favorite project ever from Colombo, like sharing that changed a lot. And like all those experiences, there's way too much to talk about like in this small time, but I think all of those different things have changed me. And like yeah, I think that was amazing.
Amazing. How about Bipash?
Yeah, to be honest, actually, like Asel said, to start it off from there, Rotaract has, given me a lot and has improved me a lot in certain aspects as well. To be honest, back in Interact, I wasn't this, open towards certain things, speaking up and all of that. But Rotaract, that's something that I learned through Rotaract and what Rotaract taught me as well, to make mistakes. And it's a platform that you can make mistakes and correct them and then move forward. So right now, even in this platform, I can be open and I don't need to worry about it. So that's what Rotaract brings. As in, it's a platform where like Asel said, it's a platform where diverse individuals come and they can give their opinion and thereby be good to this country and then maybe to this whole world as well. So I believe through Rotaract, that aspect is one of the important aspects. And another aspect is basically about the networking, which Asel touched on as well. So that also has an important, you know, aspect and important benefit that Rotaract brings towards a person.
All right, Bipash. I think we come to serve the community, but it's a lot that we learn from it as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How about Hasita?
Yeah, so I think similar experience for me. Rotaract also had helped me to be forward and make friends and take on responsibilities. Before Rotaract, I didn't even like have any plans of making new friends. I always stuck to the friends I knew, once I was comfortable with. But joining Rotaract, I had to make friends. And because if you're doing projects and if you're taking part in projects and you're going to meetings, you need to make those friendships and connections in order to achieve your responsibilities. So I think Rotaract has helped me, to make me forward and make new friendships, and also had helped me to make connections with the companies that we call for sponsorships. I wasn't very as in a talker, still not, but I wasn't very confident when talking to companies before. So calling companies for sponsors basically helped me to improve that aspect of me.
Yeah, that very interesting point that he said, like pushing ourselves out of that comfort zone is
Yeah.
a major thing that Rotaract does. How about Niflas?
Yeah, I stick with the points with all three what they say. So basically, it was like Hafiz's point and Hafiz's point. I have learned a lot. Lot that has given me a lot. So what I do is I learn from here, I implement in my life and work area. So that's what I do. So even like for certain areas, I don't make mistakes by learning from here. So like it's exactly like a college student behave how when he's thrown into the society. It's like that. So Rotaract mold yourself. It looks into you like what you lack and also what you have. So it molds you completely and it says you what you are. And mostly I'm also I'm an extrovert person with selected number of people in my comfort zone. So like I have a lot of friends, but I don't move with people easily. Like I still remember like I took a very long time to get socialized with people in the club others also. Like now I got more even each of directors, each of members have each of colleagues. I learn each and every point from like I learn several things from Marcel, Bifat, Hasita. When it comes to Hasita is older than me. From Hasita's experience, I learn a lot. Older than me in the sense older than me. I didn't say he's very older.
Okay. No need to emphasize on that.
When it comes to experience taking decisions for certain things, so like I think differently, Hasita thinks differently. So like I just learned how did he take this decision by looking at what. So like I learned from that. Each and every people have those stuff, not only from the older people but also from the younger people. So like it's a learning point. I still learn, keep on learning how stuff are done. I apply them to the real life and that's what I got from those.
Amazing. When it comes to learning, age really doesn't matter. That's one thing that we should really keep in mind. Finally, how about Rishad?
Yeah, so I have improved a lot as a person after joining this Rotaract movement. First, I would say the friendship, the bond I got from Isura, Asel, Bipaj, and Hasita. It's really good for me. And on the other hand, Rotaract gave me an opportunity to serve for the community in any form, and it's always gave me a greater satisfaction for doing something for our community. And one thing I'm forever grateful is being one of the co-chair of the biggest project, one of the biggest project in Rotaract calendar, Conquer Colombo. And after being a chair, I actually improved my speaking skills, like negotiating skills with the sponsors, and that really grind me a lot. And I have improved my finance skills really a lot after being a finance director here and chairing Conquer Colombo in the finance perspective and everything. So yes, I'm forever grateful for this movement, which gave me a lot and a lot.
All right, amazing. All right, guys, that marks the end of today's episode of The Lounge Season 2. I would like to take a moment and thank all of you for being here, for talking to us, especially sharing your experiences as Rotaractors. I think the thoughts that you have shared, the experiences that you've shared with us will be a good motivation for non-Rotaractors to join Rotaract, and also for Rotaractors to stay in Rotaract as well, to take up big responsibilities and which lead to like greater achievements. So once again, thanks a lot, guys, for joining here with us.
Thank you, Vinuri.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Vinuri.
Anya. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's the end of today's episode of The Lounge Season 2 by Rotaract Club of Achievers Lanka Business School. Until we come back, stay safe.